Awesome. All right, so just to bring it home even one layer deeper, I started the day by talking about the spirit of play. I asked you to get that good main character superhero energy on, but I want to really prove to you, now that you've caffeinated a little, I had some amazing tea, right? Just how powerful that mindset of all in is. So as we get ready to welcome our ladies, I want to challenge this whole room to sit like at any moment you could be called upon to be next, right? And isn't that interesting? And I love the room is like, I'm sitting exactly the same because I am ready. I'm a born leader. And that's what this is about. And that's just such a perfect segue into our next panel to kick off this next segment. So welcome back, everyone. What I want you to know is that next up, we have maybe the most prepared, maybe the most overachieving executives and leaders in here. They certainly were the first to arrive backstage, and I'm going to give them brownie points for that. This is about leadership that moves. It literally blazes a trail. 3 leaders with an amazing moderator are going to show how global vision, purpose, and resilience scale ventures beyond local markets. You're going to learn how profit pairs with purpose, how ecosystems compound, and how reinvention becomes a long game strategy. I like that one a lot. This panel is all about leading with impact, building with purpose. So please join me in welcoming your amazing moderator, Raechel Canipe, along with Dr. Rebeca Forero. They're clapping it out back there. Dr. Rebeca Forero, Dharti Desai, and Karen Robinson Cope. Give it up for these amazing women. Wonderful. I'm counting 1, 2, 3. Do we need a 4th microphone? Because I'm a sharer. 3, 2, good. Karen, do you need a microphone? Got it? Okay. Clap it up for your ladies one more time. You're off.
Let's try that again. Welcome back, everyone. I know today has been full of inspiration and energy, and I appreciate you bringing that energy back to us after the break. Our theme for today's session is leading with impact, building with purpose. And when you look at the journeys of these incredible, extraordinary panelists, you are going to see exactly what that looks like in action. From ventures that cross continents to ecosystems built with intention and strategies that marry profit with purpose and scale with legacy. These are leaders who haven't just built companies, they've built movements. They have opened global markets, and they've designed systems of impact that are going to last long after a single product launch or a single exit. Over the next 25 minutes together, we're going to get tactical, visionary, and personal, and we'll explore how bold leadership, clear values, and global vision come together to shape the future of entrepreneurship. So let's shake off the break, let's lean in, and join me in welcoming these incredible ladies. Kicking us off, Karen, if you could start this one for us. Most founders want to incorporate purpose and social impact into their business, but it's a much harder thing to actually bring that to scale. All 3 of you are leaders who have had that impact on a global scale, and I'd love to learn from you some of the most effective ways that you have been able to operationalize your personal values, whether that's education, empowerment, creating access, into your company's strategy, culture, or funding model.
Thanks so much. First of all, you guys, great to see you all here. It's been a few years since I've been in Tampa, or Florida, but it's great to see you, and we're honored to be here. I sold my last company about 15 years ago, and the last 10, 15 years has been focused on investing in a number of companies, and I'm a mentor, and my passion is really micro-lending. But I love that question because I think now more than ever, we need to be able to show values. We need to be able to show that the team is working together. And I think that it's not a gimmick, it's not one thing you do, it's a consistency. It's from the day you hire, it's from the day you train, it's the KPIs that you do, that you reward your team on. That all needs to be part of your vision and your values. And if all you do, your team will know if you come in and through a awards presentation, and that's the only time you talk about it. It's nice to put the big banner on the wall. It's great to see the great little sayings, but it's a day-to-day, and it starts at the top. So I strongly encourage, think about how you're incorporating your values into every part of the process, beginning with hiring, training, rewarding, and even when someone leaves, make sure that whole value is being characterized throughout that process.
Thank you. Dr. Rebecca, what would you add to that?
Well, thank you so much for being here and for inviting us. And before we start, I think I'm the only Latina here, so I'm going to act like a Latina. So, okay, hello. Please, we need some cheering here because we came in and nobody was clapping, and I don't like that. So please.
Yes!
A round of applause to Raechel, to Karen, and to Dharti. Dharti is hard for me to remind names and pronunciations. Well, actually, purpose is and the purpose for me is something that I live every day. It is a lifestyle. So everything that I do and that we do in my company or in any organizations that I lead, it starts with that simple question: how I'm gonna help with this, and who's gonna be receiving something from what I'm doing. So I think that's the key. If you live with your values, you just show what you're doing, and everything comes right after.
And Dharti, you have really done this in a big way. Just one example is scaling TiE's women's program to, was it 61 or 62 countries? 62. Incredible.
It has nothing to do with me. Thank you. So, story of my life. Like Karen, I was here 3 years ago, 2022, TiECON, and I just love, first of all, the diversity that I'm seeing here today, so a big round of applause for that. And if some of you remember what I did on stage back then, was I called out my successes because of others and my failures because of myself. And I don't say that negatively, because the failures actually keep me going so I can do the next thing and the next thing. Today, as you can clearly see, I'm all about tie, right? I mean, I wear tie, I walk tie, I live tie, as a lot of people who know me know that about me. So TiE Women, the reason it's where it is today, or for that matter, my enterprises as well, is because of the power of collaboration. We've been able to bring in all of the amazing leaders from all of the different chapters all over the world. When we started, there was a lot of noise about, hey, why do we need some of the very, let's say, mature chapters said, we don't need a separate program for women. We're very happy with the diversity. I said, yeah, let's look at some numbers. Let's see what that looks like. And I see Paul nodding and smiling, so Paul knows what I'm talking about. But we didn't give up. We launched in the year of the pandemic, and it was the best year that we could have launched, because we saw the true resilience of women leaders. We all traveled to Dubai together very safely. We had our in-person pitch competition in early 2021. And since then, as they say, the rest is history. Last year, we had 44 chapters that participated out of the now 67 chapters that our chair has told us about this morning. But we had 62 countries represented in last year's TiE Women Finals. I mean, there's your power of collaboration. And just to, circle back on your question, for me, it's always been about building trust and not transactions. And TiE truly stands for that. You'll see people doing this for 20 years. I'm just a 10-year-old. When I was last year in Florida, I said I was a new kid in the block. I still feel like that compared to some of the amazing people in this room and beyond.
So true.
An incredible, incredible impact. And I want to bring this down now and get more tactical as well. Dharti, if you could kick us off on this one. for founders who want to go global, you've set such a great example of how to do this. What would you say are some of the most underrated levers to help companies with those international expansions, whether it's partnership, supply chain, community, or something else altogether?
For me, it's always been community, and whether I'm starting a community or I'm being part of another community that empowers me, helps me to do what I can do. Again, the same power of collaboration. So communities, networks that really lift you and lift your successes, but help you through your failures as well. I mean, for me, Thai came at a really very sensitive time as an entrepreneur for me. I've been an entrepreneur for the last 27 years. I was facing one of my most critical challenges, and we can talk about this offline, but Thai came as this best friend that helped me get up, back on my feet, and build and scale. For me, showing up is another big kind of little tip. Show up, bring your authentic self, and make sure that you make eye contact and then you talk.
Agreed.
Dr. Rebecca, what would you add to that?
Well, actually, I think that I totally agree with her. For me, relationships are the passport, as the true passport. We have to build trust. So, and everything will come after that. You can't imagine when you have good relationships how many doors opens for you. And actually, we are here because of that. I have a friend here that I know maybe all of you already know, that is Sarah Hunt. And
we love Sarah.
Please, yes.
I don't see her.
She's an orchestrator here. And once she says that collaboration works when nobody cares who takes the credit, right? And I will never forget that, because that's true. If we work together, everybody wins. So building relationships will take you anywhere.
So well said. Karen, is there anything you'd like to add here?
Now, I love what you guys have both said, because part of the thing about an authentic relationship or community is when you've got failures. And those people who know me in Atlanta, I was one of the first people that talked about failure. It was on the front page of the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. Karen loves failure. Not quite what I said, but I think that the great thing about TiE is twofold. Number one is these terrific people in this room, and you can see this in so many countries across the world, this same sort of community. But they're there for the successes. We've celebrated some successes today. We celebrate them throughout the year. But they're also here to be when there's a failure. And when I had a big failure, the TiE community was one of the first communities that I talked to, and they were super about getting me back on my feet. I'll also say I've learned that without failure, you're not pushing the envelope enough. So now I really do embrace a little bit of failure.
Wow, beautiful, and such a great segue. One of the things that we want to address while we're here today, talking about building globally and bringing impact and purpose to these big, ambitious missions, is that many of us are feeling a lot of uncertainty about the market right now. Many of us are navigating some adverse market conditions, or even just the pace of keeping up with technology, maybe pushing some of you in the room to try to figure out how to reinvent your company after many years of finding success in different ways. All three of you have dealt with adversity, pivots, unfavorable market conditions, and I wonder if you could share, when you've been in these make or break moments, what are some of the frameworks or actionable strategies that you've used to build success as you weather through those storms? Karen, do you want to? Go ahead, Rebecca.
I can say something here. Well, my son says that I'm a worry-free person. And that's true. I think that's the key that has been working for me, because I focus on the good, on what I have, and what is true, what is real at the time that I'm facing storms. And let me tell you that I have faced a lot of storms, many, many storms, especially living in Florida, right? But, right. But that's the key. If you focus your energy in what you have and not in what you don't have, you will get through. So it's just having clarity of what you want and go with the energy.
Yeah, taking stock of what we have, the resources that are available to us, absolutely. Karen, what would you add?
I think a couple things. I think number one, that's why someone earlier today said this, and I really second it. You need to, if you are raising money, or even your executive team, you need to interview them as much as they're interviewing you. You need to make, that's the one time when great investors really show up, when they're there, when you're having these challenges, and they are able to challenge you and help you think through it. They're a great investor. I'll take a great investor at a lower valuation any day of the week, the first thing. The second thing that I think when you get to, in a situation like this, you need to be comfortable making quick decisions. I'm a big believer in getting young girls. When many men will ask me, what would you recommend for my daughter? And I say all the time, get them in sports, because in sports you learn how to win, how to lose, and how to work hard. And I think running a company, especially in these challenging times, those are all really good lessons. The third thing I'd say very quickly is, when you hit that failure, get over it quick. Say, you know what, this is what I did wrong, and accept it, take the blame. I did this, don't dwell on it. You did it, move on. Number two, what are some things you couldn't change? I mean, we can't change tariffs. They are what they are. We need to learn to live with them and figure out the best way. And the third thing I say is, once you've got that, how do you move forward effectively? So I think for me, the most helpful process for me over the last, in my portfolio companies, is learn how to deal with failure. Because again, if you're not failing, you're really not moving fast enough.
Well said. So in summary there, we had make sure those financial backers, as investors, also bring mentorship to the table, right? Bringing an athlete's mindset to your business, not dwelling, right? Accepting things, moving forward, and understanding what's within your power to change. Yes. Tariffs?
You can't change.
Maybe not. Unless we want to reenact the Boston Tea Party, right. It might be tough. Dharti.
Yes, I agree with everything that's been said, but I think for me, in times of adversity, I have never felt sorry for myself. Yeah. That's one thing that's always helped me in very tough times, but I've also never hesitated from being vulnerable. I think it's so important that you're able to be vulnerable and say, hey, I'm in pain, I'm hurting, I've lost a lot. You know, where can I go? Where can I get help from? And it's amazing where, you know, and somebody told me this many years ago, that when you're down and out is when new love shows up. Obviously not just in the romantic sense, right? But new love for anything else. It just shows up, you know, new people, new friends, new circles, new networks. And, you know, I'm, again, living proof of that.
That's great. Amazing. So, you know, I think it's easy for us sometimes to fall into feeling sorry for ourselves too, not feeling sorry for ourselves and leaning into community that shows up for you in those moments. Incredible advice from all, and something we can all keep in mind, whether we're having a great season of business or not, because those adversities are just inevitable. If you're growing big enough, I think we said it earlier, if you're not failing, you're not trying hard enough, right? So looking ahead to the future, this conference is about building that future, designing that next chapter. What do you think is one paradigm shift that is really going to define the next decade of global entrepreneurship? Dharti, can you kick us off?
Absolutely happy to. I know we all have been chasing unicorns, but just remember it's a mythical figure, right?
Love that.
How about we chase not unicorns, but, you know, communities that we can leave behind, whether it's a community of 50 people or 5,000 or 50,000. There are so many opportunities. So if we can solve a problem that our community is facing, I think there's so many opportunities for entrepreneurs today, whether it's, you know, around climate, around, you know, peace, around bringing people together. Right now, and I know there are a lot of AI fans here, I'm also, you know, a fan of technology, but I do like to keep life very simple, and I feel like in the most difficult times, we have the best opportunities. So I think there's so many out there, we should just grab them.
And just double tapping on that for a moment, what do you say to people who may feel that impulse that in a difficult time, the purpose or the impact or the social aspect of the business mission is maybe a luxury?
Ask yourself, what do you want to leave behind?
Powerful. Dr. Rebecca?
Well, I think that no matter, like the next generation of entrepreneurs are going to be more focused on not how big it is, but how we are connected, how well connected they are. So if we can buy tools, we can pay tools, technology is going to be evolving all the time, you know. So don't think about competition, think about co-creation, and we are going to get, all together, we are going to rise.
Co-creation, that is the word for 2026. Beautiful. Karen?
I love what you guys have said, but I want to just, and I'm a little older than many of the folks in the audience, but I became a CEO over 30 years ago. And I ran, funny story, I ran a battery charging company, and I raised, in my first company, I was in my 20s, and I raised over $40 million with 4 sentences. With 4 sentences. And
Bravo.
that was back when $40 million was a lot of money. Let me just,
Yeah.
let me
So
just
you
say,
can sit there because some of them are going to be looking for your help.
so two thoughts that I'd make. Some of you might remember the infamous .com boom. And I feel that a little bit of AI is becoming the .ai boom. Because if you all remember, there was a company called pets.com, and it was a clever idea, and they raised hundreds of millions of dollars, and they were bankrupt within a short period of time. And it was because everybody was so excited about being a .com. It wasn't about the business, it wasn't about the problem, it was not about a solution, it was just, we're gonna be a .com. So I would encourage 2 things. I would say, number 1, be thoughtful. We've heard some great panels today on if you're thinking about AI, why are you doing it? Don't do a point solution, get a real solution to a problem that you know about, number 1. And the second thing I would say is that the passion, I feel that some of what we've lost over the last few years is the passion for building great businesses. They don't need to be a unicorn. There's some great, I've heard more and more of these terrific, what I'll call lifestyle businesses. I mean, the HVAC companies and the pool companies are trading at incredible multiples now. But my comment is, find something you're passionate about. Just because you stick an AI, logo on it or something does not mean that you've got a great business, because I do believe there's going to be somewhat of a winnowing down. Yeah, there's going to be a big correction. And so I encourage you, do it for the right reasons, build it for the right reasons, and if you're too young, go back and look at the .com era, because there's a lot of desert and a lot of, failed companies. No. Some of you may be my age then.
There's a lot that we can learn. History repeats itself, and at the end of the day, businesses are people, and people are going to continue to make the same bets, the same mistakes. So love that, such a great example. I think we have time for just one last question, and we started to get at this earlier, but truly I'd love to understand what legacy means for each of you.
Well, legacy means what you live when you're not there, like what it keeps growing that you have built and you're not there. So for me, that means, and I live thinking about that every day. So I build my legacy every day, teaching, mentoring, learning from others, saying yes to Sarah when she invites me to be in the panel, because that's what you live, like whatever experience, whatever what is your journey, and you can share with others, that's legacy.
For me, it's the vision that you can build and that others can scale. And I want to just give a quick example here of the vision that Dr. C.K. Prahlad had for TiE. There is a document called The House of TiE, Show of hands, I don't know how many of you have read it, but if you haven't, please read it. That's the kind of legacy I would love to leave behind. Please do read it.
Definitely got to get that one. I think I would say two comments. One of them I would say is that I've become very passionate over the last 25 years of microlending. What I love about microlending is it's a respectful way to help developing countries build community. And again, as many of you know, microlending is typically about women, investing in women. I was on the board of Opportunity International, which is the largest faith base. We did about $1 billion of loans the last year I was there on the board, primarily to communities. And when women are successful, especially in the developing world, what do they spend money on? Education for their children and protein for their children, which means you get a better community. So one of my things I'm very, very excited about, proud of, is the impact we've had on many of these. I go back 25 years later. The second thing I'd say, and this is about giving. Everybody thinks when I'm rich, I'm going to give. I'm going to give so much money when I'm rich. No. You need to do it today. We need to find opportunities we can give back. Everyone in this room is in an amazing place. You're at the top percentage of the world. It's our requirement. We need to give back, and so I strongly encourage you. I've got lots of charities if anybody wants to talk about one, but please, I encourage you, think about how you could impact your community, your neighborhood, your state, your country. Just do it.
Wow. Incredible. What a great note to end this panel on. Absolutely beautiful speaking with you all. The questions for you to take away: what lessons from the past are we carrying with us into the future to find better and greater success in our business and cut through the noise, right? How will we co-create and bring more connectedness in 2026? And what will you leave behind? Thank you. Can we get a round of applause for these incredible leaders?
And for Raechel, thank you.
So
Thank you,
well said
Sarah.
from Raechel. Oh, so this is so wonderful. Just amazing insights. And actually, to elevate it even further, I want to welcome someone onto stage now. This person has been a former TiE Tampa Bay chapter president, sponsor, and a longtime advocate for TiE Women's Program. With that, please welcome Travis Jennings to say a few words.
Hey, Dharti, how you doing? I love the TiE Women's Program. I think it's phenomenal that we all come together to hear from experts that have flown as far as New York City. House of TiE, wonderful document. I fully endorse that. If you haven't read it, please get it. That is the legacy we're pushing towards. And by you guys making investments of time to be here, to share and impart this knowledge and to inspire us, I just really want to say thank you for taking that time, for being here. Can we please get a large round of applause for this wonderful group?
This is a good photo op. I encourage you to continue to take selfies. The hashtag today is hashtag TiECon Tampa, or 2025, but also Tampa if you want. Yeah? Amazing.